Yo fam, squats today, innit? Who's seen a new Top Boy? It's a great show. I've been watching it hard out. Sorry about the poor British accent. Anyway, as I just stated, today we will be doing a squat workout. Basically, holding your pelvis still and bracing your abs is like one of the key skills in all sporting performance movements. You need to have a good platform if you're going to perform anything with any sort of conviction. You're not going to have much power. So pretty much when I'm doing anything, when I'm like throwing a punch at the bag to when I'm bicep curling, I'm still putting a lot of focus on the platform, what I'm doing, because when I punch, if I just punch with my body, I can't knock anyone out, eh? But like if I'm throwing a right hook and I really put my body into it and my feet are firmly planted to the ground, they hurt. Alright, so basically a lot of people hate leg day. So my leg days have always been like one of the days that I look forward to the most in the gym. I've never had a real problem putting on size on my legs. My squat's always been half decent. Even when I sort of first started training, I could like do 2 plates from pretty early on. It took me a long time to get to 3 plates. And then I got a couple of injuries and stuff like that, banged up the body. But yeah, I haven't had any real serious injuries for like, I'm going to say about 10 years. I guess the thing that got me from 2 plates to 3 plates solely would be a good warm-up routine. This exercise I'm going to do here, this was one of my favourites. I'm being very lazy today, but I'm only doing this as a warm-up and pretty much nothing else. I was a bit grumpy today in the gym. I was like pressed for time. The gym was closing soon and I was like, nah, I've got to squat. So I just do maybe 2 or 3 sets of these, maybe between sort of 10 to 15 repetitions. I also do clams from the ground, planking, side planking, maybe some hip thrusts. I don't hip thrust with weight anymore before I do these exercises. I just do them body weight because I believe that it takes away from the maximum lift. I remember I was doing it like a couple of months ago and I'd start with like, 60 kilo hip thrust and being a lightweight, I thought it was all good. But after a few sets of that, my weight started going down at maximum and I'm like, what's going on? And I couldn't work it out. And then I thought, hang on, you're hip thrusting like heaps of volume and then you're trying to like max squat and max deadlifts and it's not working out. It's too much volume for the body to handle. So my training obsession began probably because when I was like growing up and a teenager, I wasn't really good at sports. And yeah, people I knew were like getting selected for rep teams and I would never get selected for a rep team. And I figured that like, maybe I was a bit weak. Maybe if I lifted some weights, I'd perform better at sports. I didn't know anything about weightlifting. Dad had like these dumbbells that he never used that were like about 10 pounds and I'm like, yeah, I'll do some bicep curl with them. That didn't really help. What did help? I packed my school bag with like 25 to 30 kg worth of books, like that big maths book and stuff. Man, I had my whole locker, like my locker had nothing in it, eh? Just my books were all in my bag and I just used to pack that and walk home, and the walk home was like 3 or 4k or something like that. And that gave me like a pretty good foundation, and I believe to this day like it saved me a few back injuries carting all those books to and from home and school. It's made my back pretty much bulletproof minus one minor injury. Like my mindset was I didn't even want to do work at the time because I might forget and leave my maths book at home or at school and then it'd be, a bit light on the walk. It wouldn't be enough load for me. So after this bag saga, I remember there was like elective sports at school and like there was one elective sport and you could go do like weightlifting at this gym that was near my house. So I did that and I really enjoyed it. And my neighbour actually was like an instructor at that gym. Like I still remember, he took a lot of time out of his day and showed me how to do like lat pull down and stuff like that. And it was really good of him. And then I just, from very early, like I knew I wanted to be good at it, but I didn't really know how and I lacked direction. I believe the gym's helped me a lot with confidence. Like I remember going to that first gym and someone had booked me a program, and they're like, oh, you just go up and say hi to the trainer and he'll write you a program. And like, I went up there and I just started working out because I was like so scared, like so shy, I wouldn't even go up to this gym trainer. Whereas now, fast forward a few years, shit, I'll go up to like the biggest, scariest looking dude at the gym and just, hey bro, what are you training today, like it's nothing. So as I'm getting closer to my working sets, I'll just tell you a little bit about my warm-up sets. So basically I start with 60 kilo all the time. I do about 8 to 10 at 60 kilo. Excuse me. Pulling the undies out of my backside, So basically 100 kilo after that, I do somewhere between like sort of maybe 5 to 8 reps at 100. Then I go straight up to 140. I bust out 5 at 140. Usually I can tell at that 3 plate point whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day. And I'm getting serious as I walk to the bar. I'm minus the jumper. So in the t-shirt showing off the guns. And I remember this set feeling relatively grindy. I was just trying to keep the pelvis still. And yeah, the abs braced, the back upright. But it didn't really want to stay upright. But it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. There we go, up relatively smooth. So yeah, basically after 3 plates, I then go to 160 and I always bust out a double regardless of what weight I'm doing. I'm working up to about 180 kilograms. I'm going to do 5 sets of 2 reps. And after that, I do a 170, which you just saw. I usually do a single. If I'm going heavier, I might do a 180. Right now, I believe I'm listening to some gangster rap, trying to get G'd up for my first working set. Clipping on the belt. Basically, when you're unracking it right, you really need to brace your abs and bend your wrists almost like sort of towards you and in front of you. So you're like bending the bar, so you're basically almost like lat pull downing the barbell, trying to bend it so your back muscles stay so tight that it doesn't actually collapse when you're doing a working set. I used to squat wide, I squat close now. It works for me and my quads get massive when I do. The second rep, not a great first rep. The first set's always a bit of a write-off. I got through it and yeah, I don't look too tired right just yet. Set number 2, I'm sort of in my own world just thinking about like dead set. You just have to brace your pelvis, activate your glutes, shoot your knees out sideways. Also with your feet, right? I know I'm doing a little bit of dancing, but when it comes to showtime, I'm thinking about my heel, little toe, and the ball of my foot, each evenly holding up my body weight. And when I press, I don't press from the heel, I don't press from the toe, I press from all of them evenly. That's very big. I think a lot of people almost like sort of fall over when I see them squat or fall forward. How can you be evenly pressing through all those points of your foot if you're falling forward? It just doesn't make sense. And there we go. That was a bit of a grindy rep. I remember this feeling pretty hard, but I was a bit stubborn. I'd already started it and I thought, I'm filming. It feels like crap, but yeah, I'm not going to stop just yet. So I usually squat and deadlift. I try to do about 3 or 4 days. I just find like maybe you can go a lighter session in between. But yeah, anything more like when I start squatting one day, deadlifting the other day, it's just too hard on the body. It beats it up. Not only does it beat up like your abs and back, it also beats up like to get into this position. One, I've permanently got scars on my back from the barbell like resting on a point on my rear delt. I've also got like banged up elbows and banged up wrists. For this set, I probably should have worn wrist straps. Honestly, I didn't wear them because I probably forgot. I know they're hurting a bit now, so I really should have worn them during this set. I find when I'm getting to like a sticking point and a bit of a grind, the harder I sort of bang the barbell into my back, the more my abs switch on, and I can actually use my back in a squat. It's not just all legs, it's a whole body exercise. There's a couple of videos that I used to watch when I was starting to squat and sort of get half decent at squatting. One was by Chris Duffin, and he just shouts technique cues at this dude who's squatting. And one of the ones that really stuck in my head was to draw down on your rib cage. And also, when you brace, it's not just your abs that has to brace, it's like your whole core. So you got to like put your hand at your lower back, brace, and if you don't feel anything, hey, you're not bracing hard enough. You need to brace the abdominal wall around the whole spine. And right now, it's just part of my training. It's built in me. I'm bracing. I'm drawing down on my ribs. If I didn't draw down, hey, I'd just fall straight into those spotters. That was slightly shallow. But yeah, another rep complete. Another one that I really like watching is this one by Steffi Cohen. And she's talking about how when she squats, on the way down, it's like a bow and arrow. Like if you just pull a bow back and then let go, you might shoot it, but you're not going to be accurate. Whereas on the way down, she compares her descent to like pulling the string back on a bow and arrow, and to fire correctly at the target, the descent has to be right. So I've sort of tried to ingrain that. Like I don't really dive bomb. I believe I sort of try descend in a straight line, try think about a lot of things. That probably wasn't a good squat to demonstrate it on, but it was a tiring day today. There we go, that one was a little slower. And up. So basically after my heavy sets on squats, I like to do some kind of variation. I've been getting into pause squats lately. So basically on all my heavy reps, I don't dive bomb, but I do use the stretch reflex to get back up. However, if you pause at the bottom, it sort of eliminates the stretch reflex. You can't use it. You have to fight a little harder. On this set, you'll see it. When I descend, I pause for a couple of seconds and just take away that stretch reflex. I try and like do the motion of spreading the floor with my feet, shoot my knees outwards. I brace my glutes and externally rotate my femurs so hard that everything else just sort of pops up. On top of that, I'm bracing my abs as hard as I can. I'd probably like my torso to be a little bit straighter, but look, I do have a long torso. I'm not trying to make excuses, but it makes it a little bit more difficult, and it's something that I do need to work on. But this, it's basically putting my body through hell, beating everything up. However, hopefully, next time I go to squat, I'm just that little bit stronger. And yeah, next time I do a PB, I'll hit it. So there's like a happy medium in regards to strength training and strengthening your joints. People say squatting is bad for your knees, but when you're training like I am now, right, I'll not get injured doing this. I'll get injured doing something stupid, but like this particular movement here, it's grindy and it might look a bit ugly, but I'm controlling it pretty much from start to finish. I'll never get injured doing this kind of thing. I'm strengthening my joints, I'm strengthening my bones, and I can sort of train like this till I'm like 70 or 80 years old. The thing that is most people's downfall is they do something stupid, or if you're training to like, you know, break some kind of Australian record, or you're training for a competition, even training your PB when you get to a certain level, right, you do put your body at risk. If something does go wrong, hey, the consequences can be pretty severe. But that's why we do all our training, to minimize those risks if we do want to compete or if we do want to hit PBs. And that's my rant for the week over. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. As you can see, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm not doing any more squatting today. Maybe some leg extension or calves or something. Take care. Until next week.